Hey, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of the Wish You Were Beer Show. Thank you for stopping by. As always, this is a weekly beer review show that we do every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, here live through YouTube. We also stream it for some reason through Facebook as well as Twitter. So anywhere you get your news, we're probably wrong as well.
All over Fox News.
All over it. God, you throw some TikTok down that rabbit hole, and we are game changers. If you go to the About section down at the bottom of the page, make sure you do us a favor. Please like and subscribe the page. It really does help us out, even though it sounds cliche and dumb as shit, which it does. Yeah. But if you go down there as well, you can find all of our social medias. You can find our individual Untapped handles, our show Untapped. You can find our website, which has a phenomenal merch site.
Yeah,
it's better by the minute.
Yeah.
Cool. We just made a shirt. That's kind of how the show works. Now,
I lost you.
We make a shirt.
No, minute. I just was not. I wasn't following your track.
Well, thank God.
So this is Daniel. My name is Tiffany. It's Phil over there.
You jumped right in it. We're 2 minutes in. And we're already introducing ourselves.
Yeah. Yep. That's where we're starting at now.
Daniel got sidetracked, and then he went in a rabbit hole about the internet. All of a sudden, we're talking about Prodigy internet.
No one was talking about that until just now. Phil, you look darker than normal. I know you're in St. Martin. Are you that tan?
After yeah. I've been at the nude beach nonstop. You know that sunscreen is not the correct thing for every part of your body. I learned that. So.
I buy this wholeheartedly, actually.
No. Gotta get that extra sensitive sunscreen. You know what I mean?
Terrible sunscreen salesman, but I buy it. I'm for it.
Look, I'm just a shirt salesman with a beer show. So
I'm so glad you brought that up because that's exactly where I was going with that.
I was not.
I wasn't going to sing it this time.
Oh, I read it. It's gonna be a good show. I can feel it.
It's going to be great.
Feeling my plums.
Vero's here. Gabriel's here. Andrew. Oh.
So confused.
I'm very confused. Scott's also confused if it's Bold Mariner Tradition. Jury's out. We're still waiting for them to join. No bueno. I think we speak different Spanish.
Non bueno.
Right. Dave's here. Dave's got 2 beers instead of 1 beer.
Dave's on your work schedule.
Yeah, Dave's watching while at work, so
good for him.
Even better.
It's good. It was nice to know you when you had a job, Dave.
Yeah, so if your baggage gets lost or your plane goes down coming out of O'Hare, Dave was watching our show currently.
Speaking of Dave, I'm going to let the audience choose tonight.
Okay.
Because I've got 2 drinks. And I know which one Dave is voting for, so he already has 1 vote. But I can either have a pre-show Coors Light, which is classic, or, Dave, I can have a Smirnoff Ice, because I still have these sitting in my fridge since we did your podcast together.
All right, so let me preface this. So as we were going into this show, doing some pre-show work, Phil, who is currently milking a proverbial cow with a beer and a Smirnoff, had 2 Manhattans.
Strong ones.
And his justification was, well, it was buy one, get one.
You don't not take the second one. It was free.
You can give it to somebody.
I agree.
The day that you deny a free drink is the day you stop doing this show.
So I have denied a couple free drinks.
Before, yeah, but just because Matt Gates offers you a beer, you don't take it.
I was very young.
Oh.
I think I'm actually older than him. Am I older than Matt Gates? No.
Probably. So Phil's either going to drink a Smirnoff Ice or a Coors Light, but just keep in mind he has had 2 Manhattans prior to this. We still have another beer to go, and he still is responsible for slides. So choose.
Leaving it up to the audience. Whoever votes more. What do we got coming in so far?
Guys,
a lot of ice babies. Here. Nope. Ice babies.
Is that ice too? Oh shit!
Yeah, ice baby.
Okay, where are we going?
Dave wants you to have 2 of them.
Oh god. All right.
You're drinking a Smirnoff, bro.
And the ice wins. The ice always wins. God, this is a terrible idea.
I love it.
Let's
Yes,
do it.
it's all ice recommendation. Nobody wants to see you drink an actual beer.
It didn't make a single noise when I cracked it open. That's how fresh this ice is.
Straight from,
It was like, ugh. It was just angry.
straight from the Rockies.
Oh, this is terrible.
Brewed
All right.
cold, shipped cold. Oh wait, that's Coors Light.
That was the other one that you could have had.
Good luck with that, sir.
Oh, God, that is not good. All right.
Yeah, right. Well, I assume we're going to do a show tonight.
Nope, it's over, actually. I think it's done.
Thanks for coming.
I
Make sure you
wish
join us next
that
week.
Smirnoff Ice were beer. No, is that not where we're at yet?
No, not even close.
Okay. Good show.
If you are joining us for the first time ever, I apologize for Phil. But we drink a different beer every week, and we try to highlight said beer or said brewery or said portions of brewery. So tonight we are doing a beer from Bold Mariner Brewing Company, which is out of Norfolk, Virginia. It's called Tippin on 44's. She's Spruce Tip IPA, which if you keep up with this show at all, read a book.
Spruce tips are your
It's my
jam.
fucking jam. Phil, I'm sure you put together a wonderful video of Bold Mariner.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And I assume it's already ready, like you were thinking and like leading into it. And
Oh, it's right here, ready to go. But what's going to
that's
happen when it's done? What's going to happen when it's done?
well, we're gonna have some people on the show, but I feel like we got to describe what's happening first before we just drag them in.
All right, so we're not bringing them in. We're going to show the Bold Mariner, and then
Yeah.
we're going to keep talking.
Just for a minute.
Sure, let's change the show up last minute. Sure, it's cool.
Yeah.
You had 2 Manhattans?
Here we go.
I do love their venue. Sorry.
Gosh, their venue is so pretty.
Yeah, it is gorgeous.
You've been.
Yeah,
I
when Phil was in town to visit us,
And Vera was there too.
Yeah, Vera was there as well.
Yeah.
All 4 of us were in the
Yeah.
same brewery that we're gonna have on the trip, which is nuts. We did get the chance to go by there and have a couple of beers. Tiffany and I obviously have been there with some regularity, but
Like once or twice.
it was nice to have all 4 of us in the same place. And they recently have a newer venue that is really baller and a really pretty building. So it was fun to get to check that out. That being said, we reached out to Bold Mariner to be on the show tonight. They originally had someone lined up to be on the show who last minute could not be on the show. So luckily, if you notice on this can,
Which
it's-
everyone has.
it's
obviously.
Bold Mariner beer, but it's brewed in collaboration with our friends over at Tradition Brewing Company, which if you've kept up on the show, Kevin and Abby are good friends of ours on the show. We had the opportunity to do a beer with them specifically.
award-winning.
Award-winning.
Yes, we won an award.
True story.
It's an award.
It's a very... Okay, God.
It could be Bowling Alley in
God
there.
damn it.
The beer is no Smirnoff Ice, but it won.
If you've seen the show in the past, Kevin and Abby were happy enough to come on to the show with us to kind of talk a little bit about the collaboration and a little bit about the beer, since they did have a hand in it, even though they're not Bold Mariner. They are with Tradition, but it was a collab, so it works out great. So
Yeah.
let's bring Kevin and Abby in.
Hello.
Whoa!
How's it? Good to see you. Thank you for saying award winning. I was screaming it from the green room.
I saw you down there.
Look, Kevin, we still haven't received our medal yet, but it's fine. We're not.
They gave us one.
They gave us one.
And
Did you
I
tell
believe
them?
that the one should go to the people who are more responsible for brewing it.
So yeah.
Yeah, fair.
It's with you. Yes. It's very
Think we
understandable.
ask the manufacturer to create a couple extras.
Listen, at the end of the day, there's trophy shops in the area. I'll go make us all medals. Quit hounding them about the one medal that hangs from the banner.
No, I just would like one as well, so we can have it just for the show.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
we'll just hang it right here like breweries do.
I'll make one.
I think Tiffany deserves the medal because she helped spice it in the end, and I think that's what helped it the most. So
I came up with the stuff, and then someone else from behind me yelled the exact same thing, and then they got all the credit.
I mean, I think really what it comes down to is that we won the award because of the award-winning shirt design, which is where the shirt
I love it. I wear it
almost like
all the time.
let's be honest here. It was shirt design.
It is awkward when I stop by the brewery, if I have the shirt on and one of y'all does as well. I'm like, well, one of us has to change.
Well, it's super awkward because Kevin and I went to CBC together last year, and we have a lot of the same tradition shirts, and we also have that same shirt. So like, it's always a chance that we're gonna show up twinsies, and it's like, I get really paranoid about it.
I texted him, what are you wearing tomorrow?
Well, it's just kind of like trying to remember, like, what was he wearing already this weekend? Oh, I can wear that one.
I think we got to update the shirt to say award-winning on top of it.
I think we do. I think we need to reissue.
We can put it on the back.
No, so we could also make another one that just says award-winning, and it's got our beer.
That's true.
Yeah.
We could do, well, it's not really very dirty socks one, but we have a Saison with dirty socks. We could reuse that little guy. Never mind. I'll come up with this later. This is too important.
I think we can cook this a little bit more.
I need to
this
ideate a couple more times. Throw out some new ideas.
You know what I think will be fun about tonight as well is that we're going to do trivia here shortly, and I don't think you guys know any of the answers.
I haven't
either,
sent anybody the trivia.
which should be a blast.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, between Phil's Manhattans.
Whatever Vero says.
You what?
Yeah.
My answer will be whatever Vero says.
Yeah.
Well, so I've actually, it's the only reason we haven't pulled Vero in yet because I've shut off her ability for everyone to see her comments so that we can all play fair.
I like to see Vero's comments.
Don't ruin this for me, Abby.
I thought you were serious. I was like, should I turn her off? I don't know.
So with that being said, I think let's get into some history and facts. So if you're not familiar with the show, this is the portion where we're going to do a little bit of trivia. Sometimes it's about the beer involved. Sometimes it's about the breweries. Sometimes it's about the style. Sometimes it's about whatever Tiffany last minute made up. But tonight we are doing Tippin on 44's, which is a spruce tip IPA brewed by Bold Mariner in collaboration with our good friends at Tradition, who were kind enough to join us.
Yeah.
So let's throw some trivia down the hatch.
Let's do it. Sorry, I was trying to
Get off your phone.
I know, but I have the answers on my phone.
Get off your phone.
Stop it.
We can't even do a show without.
Notice how we didn't even have the "we're not fighting." We never went from normal to like we're fighting on camera. It's just been consistent.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay, so the name Tippin on 44's was inspired by the music the collab team was listening to while brewing.
I know this answer, and it's 100% true because I know the collab crew. And there's only one reason this title comes up, and it's because they were gangster rapping while this beer was being made. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
The only question everyone's going to know. So I wasn't there. I've heard the story of it in somewhat of just that you guys were listening to rap that day. I don't know if there's anything else to share about it.
Oh, there is.
Oh, well, I also have that tippin equals cruising. I took notes.
This
and
is the.
I'm sorry, what?
No, keep going. I'm listening.
Refers to rolling on 4 1984s, which are the Cadillac 30-spoke wire wheels.
Correct.
I wasn't sure which wheels we were talking about, so I Googled exactly which type it refers to.
I appreciate that information. I never knew.
You're welcome.
So you haven't seen this music video where this name comes from?
Well, I mean, I feel like I've heard it maybe like a million years ago, but I was actually in Ohio when they brewed the beer. And
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
I was like on a roof in Lakefront, Ohio, in the beginning of December, stringing up Christmas lights for my mom and dad.
Oh,
And I
God.
get this phone call from Kevin, and he's like, "Oh, we're trying to think of the name for the beer." And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? There's 4 men in that brewery, and one of you hasn't said Tippin, just the tip." And he's like, "Oh my God, no one said that yet." And I'm like, "Why not?
What is wrong with you people?
What is wrong with you?"
I've got a clip of the music video for anyone who wants to see it. Here we go.
I do.
Yeah, don't worry, I got it.
Motherfucker.
I don't know what happened.
It's a little bit different from what I remember.
Yeah, I don't recall that.
I don't remember that one on MTV.
That's actually Phil's own music video. That's called "Slippin' on 44's." Ugh. God, I love it.
Also, I think I just have to say it's Fofos.
Oh,
It's not 44s.
Thank
It's
you.
Fofos.
You're
It's
not
actually, I spelled it out like that, but I still didn't read
You're
it.
not hurting my
Okay,
feelings.
well, you want to know
Where-
what the funniest part about that is? It's actually like technically ABC approved as Tippin on FOS.
That's what I thought. That's how I thought we were going to spell it.
I love it.
All right, I have a legitimate question, a real one. How does this collaboration even happen? What's the start of this? Like, how was it Bold Mariner called Tradition? Like, how does
It's
this even
usually
happen?
just Andrew.
Yes. So we hired a social butterfly named Andrew, and he did a lot of brewing on the south side where Bold Mariner is, and he knows just a lot of the brewers around, and he just likes doing collaborative things and posting stuff to Instagram and doing that kind of thing. So he reached out, and they were kind enough to say, "Yeah, let's do it."
And on another question on top of that is like, when it comes to these collaborations, like you're brewing together, are you purchasing things together? Is it like a true collaboration, or are you just kind of brought in to do it and it's just like their beer that you're a part of? Like, how does this whole combo work in the brewery?
So for different breweries, they do it differently. Typically, it's just kind of like you just show up, you have the idea of what you want to do, and then whoever is hosting kind of buys all the ingredients, and then whoever's the collaborating party, they buy the kegs later. For this particular beer, we actually bought the spruce tips because Andrew had a hot source from Canada.
Ooh.
Nothing
Sounds like
surprises me
smuggling
less
tips.
than the fact Andrew had a hot source in Canada.
Look, I have a history of smuggling tips. So, do you smuggle them from Canada? Were they already here? What's the deal?
But so you just go to the website and you let them know the day that you want them, and they will actually go out and harvest them and flash freeze them and ship them the day before.
That's
So-
how I get my tips.
Yeah. And
Flash
I
frozen.
believe it's called wildpickings.ca or something along those lines, but they do all kinds of wild forage kind of foods and stuff like that.
Nice.
So yeah, and that's how we got the spruce tips.
Question
Nice.
2.
Berries or something. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Bold Mariner's location in Ocean View was originally used as a plantation, bank, or Airbnb.
I think I also know this one.
You probably do.
Yeah, I think it was a bank.
Well, why don't you just wait to answer if you know the answer?
No, I said I think.
He's guessing.
Yeah, it's still a guess. Good Lord. Scott's on board with me. He's going to guess. Andrew, hot guess.
I think I remember them having something with like they still have some of the bank stuff there, don't they? Like,
You tell me, Phil. You've been there.
I know I've been there, but I'm kind of feeling like I remember some sort of bank. They either have still like a safe area or something. I want to say it's a bank as well.
Okay. Well, some people said B.
Everyone said B.
Well, I'm
It's
getting there.
definitely not an Airbnb. Although
Pharaoh
that-
said B Bank, which sounds like Melania Trump. Be best. You're a brewery? Be Bank. I love it.
Yeah, it was.
who knows it?
It was the Bank of the Commonwealth, but so it's got 2 complete wraparound porches that you saw in the video. They have a kitchen with a barbecue,
Yes.
and then they have the entire upstairs is an event space that you can rent out.
Yeah, which actually of all the times we've been in there, I still haven't been upstairs.
Yeah, because it's always booked.
I know they have it upstairs, but like I've been on the wraparound porch, I've been in the tap room area, I've never been upstairs.
Yeah, it's always booked.
Daniel, you mentioned that they have a new location. Is it an additional location or did they move?
No, the one we went to is their newer location.
So around, because they opened around 2015-ish, I want to say around 2017, 2018. It was before the pandemic.
Yeah.
They got this new location. It originally was going to be a second, but then they decided that with all the different breweries in the area, they wanted to, instead of diversify, they wanted to just get a better location and then still continue to focus on like beer in one spot instead of having to do multiple locations. So they were able to build it with like all the things that they wanted.
Yeah, because
by taking over the
their
space.
original location, Kevin or Abby, did y'all ever go to their original location?
No,
No,
I
I
was
don't
in
live there.
Virginia then.
It was in like a weird industrial zone.
It was basically a warehouse. And the first time I went there, my buddy Nate was actually working there. And I was like, oh God, I did not think Nate was going to murder me, but he might. This might not get murdered. And then it was totally fine. Obviously, I did not get murdered, and I still refer to Nate as a friend.
Whoa.
But yeah, it is a weird, sketchy, like random area that I feel like you went through an entire industrial area that was like not used to get there.
Yeah.
Well,
So
like my brewers.
correct. So the Ocean View location is
Pristine.
pristine
Yeah.
comparatively speaking. Like it's nice. And yes,
Question 3.
they do have a barbecue oven thingy on the side.
They do, yes. Okay, so true or false? Bold Mariner has done 12 other collaborations, 13 in total.
Well, they haven't done one with us, so I don't know where these other 13 are coming from.
False.
I'm calling them out since they're not here. If they brewed with us, they'd have an award winning one. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's
So
fact.
12, 13 total. Yeah, I don't believe it's that high. I'm gonna say false as well.
It does feel like a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, dudes, brew your own beer at this point. Like, why are you doing so many collabs?
Man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with false as well. I think it's too high.
Abby, Kevin,
I think that's a little steep, but hey, we keep on cranking them out, so I don't know.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm gonna say false.
used.
But I think it's even higher.
Oh shit!
It's fun to collaborate and go over and drink beer with other brewers.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
We do
You're
like
right.
collaborating.
Yeah.
Give it a what is it?
It is false, but Kevin is right. It's actually way more. So they have done 22 different collaboration beers.
Oh wow.
So I'm going to name off the breweries they've done them with. So Reaver Beach, Oozlefinch, Benchtop, Elation, Makers. They did a Kiev out with a Paris brewery. They did Coelacanth. Coelacanth, the weird fish.
It's a fish.
Young Veterans, O'Connor, Precarious, Wasserhund, Smart Mouth, Gordon Biersch, Billsburg, and Tradition.
Good Lord. Yeah.
So
Wow.
That's awesome.
22 different beers, 15 breweries.
How many medals?
I didn't look that
Oh,
up.
that's right. That's
Yes, that's in
It's a
tradition.
different collaboration.
But that is question 3, which means
He's
that
got
we
quite a few medals. He's got they actually won, in, I believe it was the Australian Open. They
What?
just put their beer in within the past few years. They put their beer into the Australian Open and they won some gold down there.
Bold
Interesting.
Mariner did?
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
good work.
Yeah, they do.
Was it kangaroo judges? Because that changes.
No, it could be. It could be. I believe that the stipulation is you got to put it in the big Foster's oil cans.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Daniel,
Well,
did you
listen,
just open up this
beer at all? And I love it.
All right.
Daniel, did you just open this up?
Yeah, he did. I was gonna get there. Daniel's not waiting around. So that was
Let me
question
just finish
3.
this ice.
That was question 3, which means that we're gonna open the beer up and try it for a little bit before we actually end up rating it, just to make sure that we're not giving it a just first impression and we're having a moment to enjoy the entire thing.
And what are we drinking?
Oh, yeah, we're drinking a beverage.
I gotta wash the ice out.
Tippin on 44's by Bold
you.
Mariner and collaborated with Tradition, who is here with us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that Kevin said thank you. Folks.
Also, I'm drinking Star Hill.
Wild animal.
All right. I almost just dropped this glass. What are spruce tips? I know that we've done spruce tips a couple different times in the show, so maybe we know this. I don't think I was on either of those shows. A young growth sprout found in spring, the 6 to 12 inches, last little bit of the branch, or a spruce sapling, so something under a year old.
Well, my nickname in college was Spruce Tips, so I'm going B.
I love the same constituency. You said tip. Good. Thank
Kenny
you.
gets
Kenny.
it.
Vero's going A. Scott says
I'm
C.
gonna go A.
Yeah, I do a lot of spruce tip research because this is my fucking jam. Even if it's wrong, the answer is A, unless Tiffany's trying to do some trickery or some bullshit, which
Why
is
would
pretty
I do
normal.
that?
Pretty
You
normal.
always do it.
Doesn't sound like me. No.
All right, Tiffany, what is it?
It's A. I just wanted to throw in the 6 to 12 inches just to see.
Just to see who owned up to it.
Yeah, just to see who was like, oh yeah, that sounds right.
I bet.
I knew it was gonna be someone. Yeah. I have a lot more on that one, I'm sure. Hold on, give me a second.
You didn't just memorize it.
Let's just sit in silence while Tiffany looks it up.
Okay, no.
Next time.
So yeah, at the end of it, and you use it like you do hops. So Vikings and ancient Scandinavians brewed beer with the spruce tips. And so that's kind of like the first reference of it. And then in early America, because it was really hard to get things shipped over here, they actually used spruce instead of hops a lot of times. So that's...
What a great time to be alive. Every beer was a spruce tip beer.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And everyone was dying.
Just be walking around with an erection nonstop. Yeah, I had a spruce tip, whatever.
6 to 12 inches.
6 to 12 of the tipping.
That's beer.
I hate it.
So the only other hop in that beer is Cascade.
Really?
That's for bittering up front, and the spruce tips went in the back end in the whirlpool.
Yeah, they did.
Kevin, you have dug your own grave with that comment. I wish you the best of luck, sir.
Sorry, Kevin. It's going to be a T-shirt, and it's going to have your name.
The spruce tips go in on the back end. Yep.
I just love put the quote of spruce tips going in the back end and then put dash, not the brewer. So it looks even scarier.
Now, another question for Kevin. when we made the saison, you said it was your first saison, which is crazy. You won an award for it. Like,
correction.
I know we collaborated on it, but let's be honest, the brewer brewed it. Had you ever made a spruce tip before?
I had not. That's the first one I'd ever made.
Nice.
And it turned out very surprising. So
Wayne, sorry.
from the way that the smell that it smelled like a pine tree, but like a pine tree that you wanted to eat in the brewery.
Cedar pine tree.
And I don't know any other way to describe it. It just tasted like an edible pine. And when we pulled it out, it just smelled like a Christmas tree. But those same flavors and aromas, I don't feel are in the beer. Like the beer is a lot softer.
Yeah.
Like it's not nearly as like pine resiny as I would have expected. But
it
it
doesn't taste like Christmas tree, which
Well, and I think for me, that's going to be some of my notes on that beer is that it doesn't taste like a Christmas tree, which is what I'm normally looking for.
I don't want it to be
in one of these
like
beers.
Christmas tree.
So,
I like this
well,
one
we'll
better.
get there. We'll get there. We'll
I
get there.
guess when it's softer, it's kind of like a sweeter Christmas
We'll get there.
tree. It's
I'll
like
say
Christmas trees and Christmas cookies got together in this beer just a little bit.
There is a little Christmas cookie in it. I agree with you, Tiffany.
Just the sweetness.
Yeah, the sweetness of it.
It could be that I've had a couple of beverages. I don't know.
You guys should stop drinking so much before we're supposed to review beer.
You were like, hey, you know what we should do? Let's go to 1700 and have a beer.
That's my bad.
So
Kevin, now because you had never made a spruce tip before, were you sitting back a little and letting Bold Mariner do a little bit more of the work, or were you like really involved in like did you just put yourself into it and be like, I'm gonna give my notes, or did you kind of sit back on it a little?
No, so I never brewed one before, but because you use spruce tips just like hops, I kind of had an idea of what I would have wanted like the base beer to be, to then layer the hops on top of. But really, John at Bold Mariner, he took the whole thing and he did it all himself, and I believe he did a great job. Yeah, we saw the recipe when we showed up, and we were like, "Cool, let's do this.
Let's give it a ring."
Yeah, because really, you don't want to get too complicated with the base beer. You want to let those hops shine through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
that's good.
Do you have any more questions, Phil? That was the end of my.
Yeah, Phil, I'm worried about you. Do you have any more questions?
You've had a lot of good questions. No, I like it. Keep
Am I
asking.
not allowed to have questions? I thought we
No.
were interviewing people. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I'm just enjoying you doing.
Abby, how was your day today? Did you have a good day?
Oh, I actually had a crap day today. This is probably the high point.
You know what, Abby? You should have turned on one of those lamps back there. Can you point to one of them for us, please?
Yeah.
It's too bright. No, I can't point. I know it's there now.
Nice.
So
Hey, Weather Woman Abby, nailed it.
when we were first starting, we were just kind of like talking, hanging out. Abby was trying to point to like something very specific by using the camera, and Daniel was like, "You can just turn around and point to it."
Right, because she kept pointing forward, but at the thing in the camera, which was backward.
That thing.
Right, yeah. There you go.
So anyway, it was great. I thought it was fantastic.
Proud of you.
I checked it.
Proud of you.
Now I know.
All right, I've got another question if we're just going to hang out here, because I'm very intrigued by all this.
Yeah,
Okay.
man, I'm waiting on you.
Kevin,
Yes.
you're making a beer. You're making your
Everyone
first
stop.
spruce tip beer. Was there anything that you learned from the process? Like, you say making it with a spruce tip is similar to a hop. Was there anything that was any different, or is it literally just like using a hop? Like,
Well, so when you throw it in hops, they're typically pelletized, so they will kind of sit in eventually at the end of the boil, you'll whirlpool and try to get them all to kind of collect at the bottom. With spruce tips, and with other like orange peel and coriander, which are not in there, but examples of other things that you could put in a beer, you would put them into like a cheesecloth bag and like just tie it off and toss it in there. That way you can kind of draw it out, because otherwise it will clog all your system and you can't get the beer out of there. So it wasn't necessarily anything I'd learned, but yeah, I mean, I just really enjoyed a new ingredient, and I thought it brought a wonderful flavor and aroma, and I'm looking forward to using a lot more of it in the future.
Daniel.
Oh, so we can expect a tradition spruce tip in the future.
Oh yeah, it's going to taste like a Christmas.
Probably like 2 times
I
the tips.
guarantee it.
You're gonna like really Christmas tree out.
Double tipping.
Double tipping.
Tipping on 88.
Tipping on 88.
There we go.
If anyone knows about double tipping, it's this guy. That's all I got. That was the last of my questions.
Okay. Thank God.
I felt like you were on a roll, and I really didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I appreciate it. I've got a lot of tip questions.
No one doubts this.
We've learned that they go in on the backside.
Oh God, I'm telling you.
All right. Well,
Did we mark
wants
that
shirt?
Did we mark that portion when it happened so we can go back and find that sound clip so we can make sure we get the shirt right?
which one?
Said it 3 times.
Okay. So
Yeah.
just stick on the back end.
No, I did not.
So Phil, how's the beer pairing with the Smirnoff Ice?
Oh, fucking miserably.
I mean, I rinsed a little bit. I did a dentist rinse, and that helped. But I don't think it did okay. Like my mouth wasn't destroyed yet. So
By the tips?
Yeah.
Thank you.
ah, normally, look, I've got experience in this, Kevin.
That was great.
I was just sitting here quietly. Just I refuse.
My calloused mouth of tips is just good.
Yeah. It gets real sappy in there too.
Are we
That's
well
Very
if you're
sappy,
doing it
super
right,
sticky.
can we talk about this beer?
Yeah, I was about to try and get into that.
You want to review it with them here?
No, I don't want to review it. I just want to at least talk
We've
about
already talked
it.
about. We've been talking about the beer for the past 20 minutes.
We've been talking about you trying to get spruce tips out of your back end for 20 minutes. We have yet to mention anything about
Look,
the damn beer.
it's not a challenge for me to get spruce tips in my back end. All right, let's be honest.
He went to theater school.
Yeah, with you, Daniel.
6 to 12 inches.
And that's just the tip.
God, I hate this game.
All right.
I have one question about the beer in general.
Okay.
So when we talk about adding hop additions or spruce additions or anything similar to a hop, did the actual malt bill of the beer change at all based off of what we were going to be putting in it? Is it still like a same base malt or a base, what you would normally use to make an IPA, and then the hop addition or the spruce addition is what changes it?
Essentially, yes. So the grain bill for that kind of beer, it would be, I've been drinking, mostly base malt, of course, but that's not, you want a little bit of like a sweet malt backbone there, so you'll add like a Vienna or something that has a little bit of unfermentable sugars to kind of add a malt backbone to layer those hops on top of.
Makes sense. That's always
fruits, we didn't change anything.
Yeah. Always my thing with a lot of these beers, like when you get into the adjuncts or like the when you're changing things, whether it's in the whirlpool or whether it's somewhere else, it's like, okay, we added different hops, but was the base bill the same and we just changed this portion of it, or did we change everything on the front portion of it? True story, Wayne. 6 to 12 inches at a time. God, I hate it.
Ridiculous.
No, I love it. So we're gonna review the beer, which means we're gonna kick y'all out because I'd hate for you to find out what I really think about it. But you can hang out and watch.
Oh, so you can hang out for a minute. We'll pull you back in for Wish You Were Actually Beer.
Do you have a wish you were a beer from this week?
You can't ask us that yet.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Not that
Maybe. If you're still around.
Yeah, if you're
I
still
love
here.
that I just got tipped on full foams.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, that's a little weird.
Well, before we let you go, though, because you're here, you're Tradition. What's going on at Tradition coming soon? Is there something that we all need to? Do I need to fly to Virginia for something? What do you got coming?
Yes.
Do you like running marathons? Because
No.
No,
I do not.
hard no.
this week we just released our I'm not sure which numbered version.
Ninth
Ninth.
year.
Yeah.
Well, it's the marathon's been going 9 years, but I believe we've only done like 3 or 4 versions
Oh, the
of
one
the
city.
beer.
Yeah.
Of the One City beer. Either way, we just released a session IPA that we brewed with a little bit of apricot. It's got New Zealand hops in it.
Apricot or apricot?
I guess it apricot.
He said,
I didn't.
I think we have a shirt
I
about
just say
that.
it.
Look, I'm a shirt salesman. We got a shirt about this. That's why I asked.
We
Okay.
literally made an apricot or apricot shirt for the show.
Oh,
it
really?
has an apricot.
Oh, that's right.
And then
Yeah.
it has the phonetic spelling of both of it with a
I
question
remember
mark.
that one.
Interesting.
All right, so you made a marathon beer with Aper or apricot. We don't know which one.
Yeah.
What makes it a marathon beer?
only
Well,
for
it's a session IPA, so it's got when you drink it, it's got the bitterness that lets you know that it's an IPA, but it's only at about 4%. So it's something that you can drink all day.
And
Dare
the,
I say that
It
name?
was specifically brewed this time at this time of year for we host the One City Marathon 5K at the brewery, and we have been doing that since they kind of split the 5K up from the race day and did it at 2 different locations. So we've been hosting the 5K on the day before. So we partner with the city each year, and this is the second time we've brewed this one for them. This particular session IPA for them, and it went over really well last year. So we switched up a lot of the hops, but kept the concept. But it's specifically for this time of year, for in honor of our hosting the 5K for the One City Marathon.
It's great. It makes me think of the. I'm going off track here, but I remember Sam Adams came out with their like 26.2 or whatever beer. Is that how long a marathon is? And I remember their beer like included more salt because it was after you run a marathon, like it was like the electrolyte salty thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So that's just what I thought about when
I've never run that far, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I've drank that far.
That's
I've never-
Driven that far.
Well, that's very, very cool.
It's
Fine.
very far is cool.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, we've got
Next week,
New-
new hazy.
new events. Yeah, coming up all the time. We've got the next in the Hazy series, which is called "Don't Look Down," which is based off of spiders.
Hey.
No, I'm kidding. It's heights.
Oh, this is part of your like fear-based hazies because we did one on the
Yeah.
show. The top, what was it called? What was
Public
it?
presentation.
President. So
Yeah.
this is what number in the series is this?
This would be number 4. Yeah.
Okay.
So we did public presentation. We did
The
the
entertainer.
entertainer, Itsy Bitsy Nightmare, and then I love that one. And then the Don't Look Down will be the 4th. We used Comet and Galaxy hops because that was fun. And it turned out really well. It's about to go in
I
the
was
right
trying
place,
to pull up a
so,
picture of the label, but I can't find one.
Yeah.
So we can't
What-
share all the secrets.
What makes it? You said that those hops made it fun. What is the funness of those hops?
We enjoy puns. Like,
Don't look down. It's Galaxy and
Galaxy
Comet.
are space terms.
Right.
You didn't
Okay.
catch that on the front end?
Just stay on the surface, Phil. Just don't look in.
Did I tell you I had a Smirnoff before the show? Okay. Yeah.
And the Manhattans.
Give me a second. That's great. Okay. Very cool. All right. We gotta get into trashing this beer. So
Yeah,
Sounds
100%.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna leave you in the waiting room. You're
Remember,
welcome. to
I'm not the brewer.
Not the brewer.
Yeah. Not the brewer. Abby, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure.
You're welcome.
Stick around and
Thank you,
think of
Patrick.
your wish you it was also beer, whatever we call that segment. All right, we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Wish you were actually here.
Ah, there's the word. Yeah.
I'm fucking worried about you, Phil.
It's only 103 episodes in, but you know.
Nay.
Well, are we going to review it first, or are we going to go through Untapped? If we're
Really?
just all right. So this is the portion of the show where we actually review the beer. We do use Untapped to review the beer, which is a social drinking media app. It is 1 through 5 bottle caps, 1 being dirt from the ground and 5 being semen from Jesus Christ. And tonight we are reviewing Bold Mariners Brewing, Tippin on 44's. It is a collaboration with Tradition Brewing Company. It's a spruce tip IPA.
What do you think?
Oh, I love this beer. I mean, this is easy gimme for me. I do have some notes on it because obviously I've brewed a few beers and one of them won a medal.
Yeah.
So
we're an award-winning show. What our opinion is pretty important.
Thank you. So, despite your best attempt, let me give you the rundown on this. Now, I really like the beer. I do think it has a sweetness to it that some of the spruce tips don't have, which I think is important because it takes some of that edge off of the like really, really piney bite to it. But for somebody who really likes that piney bite and Christmas tree forward beer, I wanted it to have a little bit more spruce in it. Like I wanted to punch you in the face. Like I just harvested this baby tree yesterday and put it in a wood chipper and made a beer.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, delicious. So for me, I really like the complete like finished product of this beer, but as a spruce tip, I wish it was more spruce on the front end. So for me, it's a 3.75.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will go. I'm gonna give it a 4. So I thought that it was gonna be too bitter. Recently, my palate seems to have changed a little bit, or just my preferences. And I don't usually like things that are too piney in the first place. So I'm like extra sensitive to that super piney bitter on the end. And because this one is sweet, and like I don't know how to jammy.
Yeah,
Yes,
Jamie's
that's
a
it.
good one. That's why I pulled it.
And it's also a little bready, so it's like a thicker beer, and not super piney with a little bit of sweetness. I like it, so I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
Again, I have been drinking, but
You do you, boo.
I like it.
It's your opinion. No one's here to judge you on it.
I'm
except
judging
for-
myself. I literally just judge myself as I rated it.
Yeah.
Because if I do it first, it doesn't matter what everybody else does.
Fair.
I've survived this far with that
Fair.
mentality.
All right. For me, I think I'm struggling with this beer score-wise because I really like the beer.
Yeah.
If I didn't like the beer, my score would be lower because I'm with you, Daniel. It doesn't have enough sprucey tippiness to me. Which I
Maybe
think
the
is
best
a scientific term for it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play. I haven't played this game in a while because we haven't really dealt with it in a while. But I'm going to play the game of the can art.
Okay.
You've got this spruce tip thing going on in this can.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if you're going to put this on the can, I better be drinking some spruce tips.
Okay.
And so for me, it's a challenge because, like you said, it's not sprucey enough. I don't get that like mouth of Christmas tree.
Right.
And so if you're gonna put it on the can, it's gotta match that to me.
Fair.
So that's a challenge. Now, on the other end of it, this beer is very, very good.
Correct.
But is it spruce tippy? So, as a non-spruce tip, this beer is in the fours for me.
Okay.
Easy. But because it's supposed to be spruce tippy and you're advertising spruce tip, it's a 3.75.
Fair.
Doesn't get the 4 barrier because I just don't think it doesn't give me what it's advertising.
Okay. It has been a while since you played that card. I'm proud of you.
I have not played the can art card in a while, but
Yeah.
it's hard when you're calling it a spruce tip. You're throwing spruce tips on a can. I want to be drinking a
It's
Christmas.
in my face.
Spruce tips in the face.
But for me, so the highest score they were capable of getting as a non-spruce in my face is a 3.75, which they very much earned because the beer is
It is
just-
still, yeah,
it's
exactly.
so good.
100%.
It's so good. And it's unfortunate that I can't give it a higher score, but that's where I'm at.
This is where the spruce tip game lives,
It
just
really
like
does.
Scott said.
Yeah.
I took this to a beer share, half liked it, half thought it was hot garbage. That is, or excuse me, half thought knit
Thought
was
knit.
hot garbage.
Thoughtnit. It's one word. Thoughtnit was hot garbage.
But yeah, it's always funny. So it's the spruce beers, the pickle beers, the things that are like dividing characteristics of what you like in a beer. Like, oh, I love spruce. You can punch me in the face with it. And somebody who's like, well, I like lagers and I hate you. I'm like, it's okay.
I think it's just it's a challenge because it's like if you're gonna throw such a strong flavor in something, like then
Yeah.
I want to be hit with it.
Sure. I think it's fair.
And I think that's what it is. It's like the pickle beers, like if it doesn't taste like pickle juice beer,
Then go fuck
what
yourself.
are we doing here? Yeah,
Correct. Yeah. I can masturbate at home. Don't make a beer for me.
exactly.
All right. So now my favorite part of the show. Can we get into some untapped reviews of this?
Overall, we gave Bruce Mariner,
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 3.75.
Bold Mariner, not Spruce Mariner, Bold Mariner, with Tradition, Tippin on 44's.
Faux.
44's.
Faux.
God, I can't do it.
You can't say 40 and then fold.
Great score for the show, anyways.
Tip it on 45.
All right, let's find out what the best people in the world are, and that's
Oh,
untapped people.
Yeah.
Find out what they thought of this beer.
mystery.
Scott.
This is my favorite. So I want to bring this up because our good friend Scott, who is watching the show with us tonight, has checked this beer in. But I want to point out one thing. At 8:48, he said 3.5 at best. How many bottle caps is on that review?
Looks like a 4 to me,
Looks
Scott.
like a 4 to me, Scott.
However, he did. Hold on, where'd it go?
Wait, so he purchased it at Tradition but drank it at the wine cellar?
No. They distribute within the local area, so you were
He
able to get
purchased it, so he brought
Yeah.
it to the wine cellar.
He got no. He should have purchased it from the wine cellar as well.
in a precarious glass.
But
This can't be trusted.
I don't
This
know
is
what-
Nah, I
photo.
don't trust anything from
what is
Scott.
happening?
I don't
Scott?
trust this, Scott.
I don't trust this Scott character. Is that his real name?
Who? Ice Age Mike Jones. This is the best picture to go along with this beer.
Yes.
God.
Um.
And they quoted this song.
Yep.
Fuck you, Kylie.
We understood it.
This is
Do we
fantastic.
know Kylie?
I don't care how good the beer
No, I don't think
was.
so.
4.5 on the commentary scale.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, Chris Slate. Do we know Chris? We know
I
Chris.
went to high school with Chris Slayton.
That's right.
But
I
yes,
was like,
that's
I know
fine.
that guy. Completely different than the version at Bold Mariner.
All right,
I'll get that.
hold on a second. Hold on. I got to bring Kevin in. Kevin, you're coming back onto the show. I got to ask you. So he's saying that it's completely different than the version at Bold. Is that even something that can happen?
I mean, it's possible, but
It's possible, but when that comment came out, we were texting back and forth to each other. We were baffled. Because
You were texting Chris Slayton? Or
No,
we were texting John
I know.
at Bold Mariner, and we were like, I mean, our lines are clean, like
right.
everything's the same. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that person said that.
I mean, it honestly could just be what they drank that night. They may have had something different. It fucks with your palate. It
There it
screws you
Oh
all
yeah,
up.
and I mean, at different times, if you start drinking at 8, it's going to taste different than if you're drinking at 4.
Correct.
I know because I'm Well, it says I'm not the brewer, but sometimes I do brew.
Also,
What's it called?
imagine like if you were, let's say you're reviewing a beer for a show per se, like we do, and you're drinking a spruce tip one on the night, and you have Smirnoff Ice prior to it, and 2 Manhattans. That's
Okay.
probably going to change your palate on how you.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that affects it. Nope.
No,
Nope. Doesn't
Not at
affect
all.
it. Nope. Not at all.
It might.
Nope. I don't know what you're talking about, Daniel.
Huh.
You should talk about what you know.
Yeah, I got some notes.
It was not on tap at Tradition.
It
No.
was on Tap of Tradition. We
It was.
only had a barrel, so we only had two kegs of it, and it sold in like record time.
Yeah, I didn't get it on tap. I think I was out of town or something. I don't know what I was doing.
You guys were nice enough to hold me a 4-pack of it.
Yeah, that's the
Thank
only way
you.
we got
I
it.
scrolled one away.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for clarifying. I also love the fact that you were looking at your Untapped, you little, you were looking at that. Brewers always say they don't look at Untapped.
Oh no, I think that was my fault.
Don't out yourself.
I didn't take the blame.
It was brought to my
Abby-
attention that that comment was made.
Abby, with that, you're going out. All right.
No,
Well, thank you for clarifying. We're going to continue, and we'll bring you back in a minute. All right. Do we have another one? We do.
It's like being on Schindler's List when Phil's.
We got
been
one more.
drinking. Just
This is
you're
the
out.
last one.
You're in.
Wait, so this one's the same Chris.
Yeah.
This is what I imagine a Christmas tree tastes like.
And they tagged Craig.
Oh, the tag Craig. But they didn't
Craig.
rate it. So
Craig.
so we don't know.
I don't know if you like the
I love
Christmas.
it. I love that Scott's been called out. Now he's meeting himself in the middle. All right, fine. 3.75. Fine. It was 4. I just 3.5. Now 3.75.
We'll check in your Untapped later, Scott. We're going to make sure you changed it.
It's gotta be edited.
I love it.
But Chris texted it in both locations.
I will give Craig some shit next time I see him because he's the tagged friend in that, and he's a friend of ours. So we'll find out.
Well, and then you went to high school with Chris. So
I don't like to talk about who I went to high school with.
you
No,
literally
Daniel didn't go to high school.
It's similar like who I don't like to talk about. I went to after high school with, which was just a dance. After high school.
So you were the person that went to the prom.
It was just me and Phil at after high school. It's
Okay.
fine.
Hey, someone had to do it.
All right. So if you're unfamiliar with the show, this is the portion where we're going to take a second to reflect on something that we wish was actually beer versus what it really is. Could be anything from your entire life. If you're Scott, if you want to regret your Untapped decisions and then be called out, you can really do whatever you want. But most of the time, it's just something from the week, typically.
Also, humble brag. I got 7,000.
Fair.
You can search for it. though.
Fair, sir.
You can search for it.
Okay.
Get
So
that weak
we're
excuse out.
going to take a second to say what we wish was beer. Give us your comments in the side there and let us know what you wish was beer. And obviously, we're going to drag at least not the brewer and maybe even Abby back in to find out what they wish was beer as well.
We will be dragging.
But I'm going to let Tiffany start because this is probably the portion of the show that she puts the most thought into.
She
For
does.
once I did. For once I did. I even have.
always.
She
That was
normally
nice.
texts us like on Monday, and she's
I
like,
have
"You guys
no.
thought of it yet? Because I have.
You guys got to wish you were beer.
Yeah, I'm way ahead of the game."
Yeah.
Never. However, I was listening to a TED Talk. So,
Oh god. All right.
okay. So, what I wish was beer was food waste because very rarely do I pour out a beer, but I really don't hesitate to throw out food. So, couple real quick facts about food waste.
Is this history and facts, or is this wish you were beer?
It's my wish your beer, so please. All right, history and facts on food waste. All right, so 65% of all greenhouse gases are caused by household consumption, and a third of all food produced just goes straight in the garbage. And
Is it what?
it's
The
an
grabbage.
SNL. I'm sorry, that was
In
really.
the grabbage.
So it goes straight in the garbage. and it accounts for approximately $1 trillion of waste. If food waste was a country, it would be the third most polluting, with China and America in 1 and 2. And it actually accounts for a land mass that's larger than China, as far as like what it would be, what we like have cut down, like rainforests and plains and all that to make this happen. And food waste creates methane, which is 80 times more potent than carbon dioxide. And they believe it is 0.5 degrees Celsius of like the increase of what we have so far. Okay. And last thing, the answer to the question you're all answering yourself now.
Asking yourself.
Right. Asking yourself now.
Not answering.
And I'm going to answer it for you.
Oh, yep.
That food waste is actually the most powerful lever we have as humanity to tackle the climate crisis. And it's estimated that our food waste is going to increase 73% by 2050 when you compare to 2020. So
I don't know if y'all follow our Instagram, but I don't waste any food. I'm a glizzy gladiator.
You said you didn't finish all of it.
I had pretty close.
Did you bring it home?
No,
I would have eaten it.
I threw it in the trash.
Grabbage.
Scott's getting called out on Untapped, so he wishes then he could drink it and it would disappear. But instead, it's there forever, Scott.
What you put on the internet is forever.
We called you out.
My dad told me that real early on.
You better change it.
Back when Prodigy was a thing.
God, that's good.
Prodigy internet.
All right, Phil, what do you got?
So this week, I wish Manhattans were beer, because then I would have had 2 beers and I would have been fine. But instead, I chose 2 Manhattans, and here we are.
Big fan. Big fan of your choices. I'm sorry. Hold on.
He's gonna pee. What's your wish?
This is my favorite. Phil should only drink this much before every show.
Hey, bud.
Hey, boo.
I'm back.
Yeah, obviously. You're in.
We should find out what Abby thinks wishes was beer.
Yes.
Okay, I think I wish mountains were beer, because when I walk outside of my office, I would just be surrounded by mountains instead of beer. So.
Oh, interesting.
I like it.
That was like an anti-beer wish was beer.
Well, I mean, I work in beer, so like sometimes it has to go that way.
Allowed.
You're like, I wish mountains were beer because I'm surrounded by beer, and I'd rather be surrounded by mountains.
If you worked for Coors Light, you could have your cake and eat it.
Look, Abby, you're
anti-beer. The Rockies and have beer.
Abby's anti-beer, which means she's anti the show. Bye, Abby.
Oh no!
But at the end of the day, I know one person who's got a good wish you were beer.
Not the brewer.
Not the brewer. He doesn't brew.
No, I don't. On occasion.
All right. See you later.
So my wish you were beer. It's not as good as past ones, but I mean, they can't be all as good as like sex and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's electrical problems and just technology. I wish technology was beer, because it would be a lot easier for me to fix when I'm in the middle of brewing and the entire brew house shuts down because of one little stupid power supply unit. That happened on
Friday.
Kevin,
how much could an electrical problem affect your brewing process?
So it made it so that I had to creatively problem solve, which was fun. But then I also had to manually finish the rest of the beer. Well, I had to like bypass.
You drink it all before it went bad?
No.
No?
No. We managed to keep it going. But I just didn't have any glycol control. I didn't have so I couldn't control the temperatures in the tanks. But it's all based around just one stupid little unit in a cabinet. And all these people keep talking about, we got to keep doing this like technology and automatic driving cars and stuff like that. Now, just do it manually.
Kevin, I love your
Either
old
way.
ass. I love
I
it.
have a manual.
Kevin, now another question, because that's where I'm at this point.
Okay.
Let's say there's an electrical error, something affects you in the brewing process when you're making a beer.
Mhm.
Do you have to like, is there ever a time where you adjust and then just like change the name or the concept of the beer because you're like, shit, we're not going to hit it because of this error. Let's make it now this instead.
Yes.
No, because if
Wise.
what it would be is, like if I could actually get that beer into the tank, then it's not likely the electrical issues wouldn't have caused like the flavor to change or anything like that. Like if I can manually open some valves and like do some other and bypass the electrical circuits and do all this other stuff, then I'm going to make that same beer. If it turns out that like I won't be able to approach it, I would likely, because it takes planning to do all these things for getting hops in and all this other stuff, yeast, all that stuff. I mean, it costs a lot of money, and so you kind of have to have that plan ahead of time. I mean, there's things you can do with fruit and stuff like that, but typically for this beer, if I can manually get it into the tank, then it's going to be the same.
Right.
The same beer.
And then the secondary question here, Kevin, is how angry are you at Daniel for his 3.75 score on your beer?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Come on, Kevin.
Taste is subjective.
Correct.
And yeah, I mean, I thought the beer was great. I was definitely expecting, just from like the smells and while I was brewing it, I thought this was gonna just rip your face off with the spruce tip.
Yeah.
But it came out like super soft, and it was just very surprising. But I think the beer's still great. I would definitely use more spruce tips in the future, because I personally would like to have that kind of rip your face off kind of pininess.
If you can just make
But
a
then-
decision on 88s and
Yeah.
just use beer next year. And
Yeah,
make it
double tipping.
Yeah, make it a double tip. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's in the works.
All right.
I think it's in the works.
So I have to start
Kevin,
calling my
thanks for
friends
coming
and-
back on and answering our questions.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. All right, Daniel, you're last.
Well, this should be a first.
No, you've always been first.
And last. All right.
No.
My wish you beer is extremely simple, like it always is, because I'm a simpleton.
I tried to ask you, and that way I wouldn't overstep with my
I
wish
had
you
to
were
come
beer.
up with a new one because you used mine,
Bullshit.
and then you gave extensive notes on it, which made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, man, TED Talks was really good.
I
Is
actually
it
just
that, is it that T-shirt? Is it that T-shirt? You wish that was beer?
T-shirt makes good sense. I'm not going to explain this. I actually just wish birthdays were beer, because I've never looked ahead on my calendar and saw
Everyone say happy birthday to Daniel. It was his
No,
birthday.
not even close. But
He's asking for happy birthdays.
the older we get, I feel like it happens every year. I'm like, oh fuck, a birthday. Like, let's just have a beer instead. Let's
do
just
that.
go hang out and have a beer. Like nothing
How
else.
many beers did you have on your birthday?
A lot.
64.
Yeah.
Same,
No,
same
no.
amount of
You had a
years.
Miller 64?
No. I played a Nintendo 64. I had 127 beers.
Yeah,
That's my bad. That's bad math on me. Homeschooled.
I did drive. But-
Homeschooled.
It was your birthday, so that was
And last question, what did Tiffany get you for your birthday?
this shirt.
Just this shirt.
No, I got him. I got him another shirt.
That's it.
with-
You know who wasn't tipping on Fofos? Me. I
I
went
thought-
to bed early, and I got a
You
shirt
went to bed
with a
early
big
because he was
emoji.
so drunk. So I ordered everyone a bunch of pizza and wings because I was like, Daniel needs some carbs. Like I need to like load this boy
I didn't
up.
eat any of them.
He didn't eat. Well, he had like one or two pieces.
Look, if I was there, I would have split a box of rice-a-roni with you, Daniel.
You get the fuck out of here.
You know I would have.
Ugh.
Extra cayenne.
Could you imagine?
God.
Yeah.
Only if it gets microwaved in a plastic bowl.
Oh, it's the best way. Just just putting out cigarettes in a cigarette bowl, having some rice-a-roni. That's a hit that only people who went to college with me and Daniel will understand.
Or have been
Putting out cigarettes
subjected.
in a bowl of rice-a-roni may be the triple version of this Tippin on Fofos. So Tippin on Fofos, doubling on 88s, and putting out cigarettes in a bowl of rice-a-roni.
All right. Guess what? Next week, we got another beer.
When?
I know. Who would have thought we'd still be doing this? Next week, we are doing this. I love it. Speaking of good can art, this beer I'm very excited about. We are doing Hydra from Mythic Brewing.
That is fun. Do we have that
Y'all
one?
know about Hydra
I bought it.
from Mythic Brewing? Where is Mythic Brewing out of?
Not a fucking clue.
It's
I
on the
bought this
can.
beer. I sent it to you.
Oh, it's from North Carolina. Y'all sent
Oh,
this
yeah.
to me. I thought maybe you knew about it.
No.
Nope.
So this is
Daniel just said, "Look at this can. Phil will like it."
he's right. He knows. He knows me.
It's almost like he has been.
It's like he's put a tip
rice-a-roni.
in me before. A spruce tip. This is a West Coast style. What do you think the difference is between a West Coast style?
Why do you have so many questions? We're an hour and 11 minutes.
I have
in. Can
so
you
many
just
questions.
crumble this
Why is
fucking
it
beer?
West Coast style India Pale Ale
Rumble
rather than
this
just
beer.
a West Coast India Pale Ale?
Probably because in the
We've
same.
talked about this on the show.
No, in the
We'll
same.
talk about it. Come back next week. We're going to figure out why this is West Coast style rather than a West Coast IPA. Very excited.
What time should we do it next week?
We should do it next Thursday, 8
Yep.
p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Do the math if you're somewhere else.
Correct.
And we're going to do it there. And then you
Yeah.
can also check out wishyourbeershow.com if
Check
you
it
want
out.
some amazing merch.
God.
And then also, if you really want to be on a trending status, if you want to be like the most trending person,
TikTok.
go on our TikTok. God, the sounds we got on TikTok is trending like crazy. So get on the TikToks.
Videos the other day. I got on the TikTok for the first time in a long time.
Get
and I was like,
trending.
oh.
If we don't end this show soon, I'm going to pee in my pants. So can
If
we,
you want to wish Daniel a happy birthday, go on
Go ahead.
wishyourbeershow.com and buy him a beer. It's at the
pee
bottom.
in your pants.
That's
I
the
paid
best
for
way
a
to
lot
do it.
of beer. You could
Besides
reimburse-
that, thank you tonight to Tradition. Thank you to Kevin and Abby.
Yes.
You're
Thank you.
huge fans. You're huge fans of the show. You're here every week. We had less viewership tonight because the two of you were actually on the show, so our numbers were low. But we appreciate the two of you coming on and putting up with our bullshit and sharing this delicious beer. Thank you for making it. God, I'm exhausted. All right, two of you. See you next week. Maybe.
Maybe.
If
I
you're lucky.
fucking, we'll see.
Have a good night.
Cheers, y'all.